Hello, good morning. Thank you for all the work that you guys put into organizing this. I'm really happy to be here. I guess we all come into this field because at some point some work has inspired us, has caught our attention, and the Information is Beautiful Awards like a showcase for all these inspiring works. So being here today, it's really special after all these years. So our project is about public debt. Super exciting topic, I know. And that was precisely one of the challenges of this project that I want to talk about today. So, but I think first I should give you some context to try to explain what does a government agency from Brazil is doing here. So I work in the National Treasury of Brazil. The National Treasury is part of the federal government of Brazil, and it deals mostly with the financial activity of the state, expenditure, revenues, public debt, public assets, transfer to states and municipalities, and that generates a lot of data. And the main outlet for this data in the Treasury are what they call reports. And there are a lot of reports. This is an actual list of the schedule of publication of all reports along the year. So you can imagine it's a lot of reports. And they usually look something like this. It's like tables and charts and some text, some really technical, precise, dry text. And they are well regarded technically among the specialized circles. But in the last years, that led to a couple of frustrations. The first one is that there's still a lot of data that's left unexplored. And I think the biggest frustration in the Treasury a few years ago was that the reports are targeted to a very specialized audience and fail to reach the broader audience, or the common citizen, as they say. And that frustration built up until at some point, a guy that was the head of IT in the Treasury, he was a guy with an excellent vision, and he proposed to create a group to explore whatever you want. That's data-related, data analytics, data science, big data. And the Treasury created this group with 4 people. I was invited to be the technical leader, but the other 3 people are really amazing people. They didn't need a leader, so I became what I've been expected to be for a long time, which was a data visualization developer. So I saw it as my opportunity to study and to work full-time with it. And we were really excited. Oh, I totally didn't read that part of the contract. But we were completely lost in the beginning. But as I said, I had been interested in visualization for quite some time, so I had my references. And then I was looking for inspiration, and I think 2 texts by Moritz Stefaner, I guess you all know him, really helped us find that direction for a group. And the first one is this one, where Moritz kind of reflects on the state of data viz in corporate settings. And he comes to the conclusion that he usually sees 2 kinds of data displays in companies and in corporate settings in general. Either you have like number decoration, where the data is super summarized to just a few indicators, and you don't get like the underlying reality behind that. And the other way around is that, okay, so you want detail, take it all and explore by yourself, and good luck with that. And then he comments that there's a lot of room for domain-specific, bespoke visualizations that could help companies better understand their data. The other text is this one. It's in this text, Moritz makes it's sort of provocation. He recognized that, yes, visualization can help tell good stories, can help make the complex simple, can make boring facts more exciting, but it can be much more than that. It can be actually a tool to understand the world, like a special tool, a special glass to understand the world. And he brings this concept from Joël de Rosnay, which was, he is actually a French scientific writer, where he proposed the idea of a macroscope. So you need to understand the infinitely great, you need a telescope. To understand the infinitely small, you need a microscope. So we might need a macroscope to understand the infinitely complex, such as society and nature. And that really resonated with me, like this way that data science and data visualization could be combined to understand our world and actually to change it. That was really powerful. So we kind of found our direction. So we had a problem of data analysis and communication, and visualization was central to that. It's fundamental to both activities. So fast forward a few years, and I'm happy to say that we developed into almost like an in-house data studio inside the Treasury. We have like a portfolio of very successful projects with our clients, which are mainly most of the Treasury departments. And then at some point, our friends from the debt management office, they came to us with their report. It's a debt management report that they publish every month. And they basically, they wanted to make it into something more interesting, more interactive. They wanted a dashboard, basically. And yeah, we started to explore their data and to make some prototypes, but we were a little bothered that wasn't actually what they needed. And that's something that's a really great challenge in every project that we work, is getting what they really need from what they think they want. And it's very delicate. You shouldn't go, again, sorry about the contract. It's very delicate because you can't go like Luigi here and say, oh, you don't know what you want, I know what you want. You have to really understand their pains and their frustrations and their motivation. And in this case, their pain was that we were approaching the election period in Brazil, and many politicians were using misconceptions about the public debt in their discourse. That's something that's happening for a lot of years. So what they wanted actually was to convey to a greater audience how does the debt work, and to try to get away with those misconceptions. And I want to make a detour here because it's really interesting because we are that data-viz crowd. And some of these misconceptions came from a chart, actually. I hope you're prepared to see this chart. This is a chart. But it's interesting. I wanted to show this because even a chart like that carries a very powerful message that, like, it goes all the way to politicians and to populists of all the kinds. So this is a breakdown of the Brazilian federal budget, and that big yellow slice there is payments with interest and payments of debt payments. And so the narrative is that, oh, so the government's like taking taxpayer money and putting almost half of that into the hands of bankers. And as Alberto Cairo says, a chart reveals as much as it hides. What that chart doesn't show is that if you look at the revenue, it's almost the same story. You're getting most of the revenue comes from the issuance of bonds. So basically, you're paying old debt with new debt. But yeah, then we realized that they needed that, like to democratize the knowledge about the basic mechanics of public debt management. Then comes the second challenge, how we should do that. And we thought about analogies because we wanted a different audience from the report. The report is read by journalists, specialized journalists, economists, other civil servants. But we want that to reach a broader audience. So we thought about the household analogy, which is very common, but fails short in many ways when you bring like the concept from the government to the household. That doesn't translate so well all the time. A water tank metaphor, maybe. But I had floating in my mind this chart that I had seen in the US Treasury, actually, website, that represented the American debt in little squares of 1 billion. That was floating in my head, and at some point in our brainstorming, it came this idea of Tetris. Like, you have like the debt stock, and you have new debt coming down, and you have old debt that just disappears. And that's how we came to this idea of using the Tetris. We then sketched. The good thing of being an in-house data studio is that you can present that to your client. You don't have like to prototype something. And we sketched that. We tried to summarize the numbers, summarize the main events that happen in the debt along 1 year, so we could propose them something that was really radically different from what they were expecting. And there comes this third challenge, because these are people that have worked with debt management their entire life, their entire work life, and they don't even realize that people don't understand that jargon. So there are a lot of technical terms, a lot of precision and rigor, and to communicate to a broader audience, we had to like let it go. Yeah, my daughter suggested that one, so I'm off the hook. Yeah, because it's a matter of having different products for different audience. So there's a time for precision, there's a place for precision, there's a place for intuition. Here we wanted to give an intuition about how that thing works. And I really love this quote by our beloved Shilivu, that she says that sometimes it's not the actual precise numbers that people will remember, but how we made them feel, that they will carry with them, and I think that's really powerful. And about implementation, we usually do everything with D3 and SVG elements. I really like this interview library for storytelling. But I always see myself as still learning, so sometimes I think we can take new projects and use it as an opportunity to learn new things. And I wanted to experiment with GreenSock's scroll trigger plugin. And in the end, we just use vanilla JavaScript, a bunch of divs in GreenSock. I won't get into this, you can check it later. We have our repository online, so you can check the code. If you have any questions, I'm here. I'll be more than happy to answer that. And that's it. Thank you. This is my website. If you want to reach out, I'll be happy to get into contact.